Prisoners of the stone's memory. Grey stone and cold water. The walls of the castle at Nicelot rose against the sky as if they might swallow the landscape whole. Young Olavi leaned against the boat while his father rowed them toward the castle shore. The summer of 1523 was cool, and a thin mist still lay over the lake in the mornings. Olavi was 12, but his father had decided to take him to the castle. "Soon you'll be old enough to learn your father's trade," he had said. Olavi had carried a gift for as long as he could remember. His mother called it the sight. He saw things others did not, shadows in the corners of rooms, figures at the forest's edge. Once he saw an old crone walk on the surface of the lake and told the village children. The next day they found the drowned woman's body. "In our family there have always been seers," his mother whispered to him at night while his father slept. "Don't tell others about your visions. They won't understand." A tingling crept down Olavi's neck as they neared the massive walls of Nicelot. The stone felt as if it had witnessed 1,000 years, though the fortress had been raised only 30 years earlier to guard the eastern border from Danes, Muscovites, and Novgorodians. Commissioned by Eric Axel and Poicatat, the wedge of 3 heavy towers pierced the archipelago of the Simo waters. They moored the boat and climbed the steep stone steps into the yard. His father, a blacksmith, had been summoned to repair the castle's gear. "They say every stone was mortared with blood," his father murmured. "But don't be afraid. It only means the castle is strong." Olavi did not fear stone or blood. He feared what he would see later that day in the tower chamber. He was left to wait in an empty room while his father spoke with the castellan. Rough walls. A narrow slit of a window letting in the chill air. Olavi stood and gazed over the blue-gray expanse of Simo when it came. First the cold. Then a faint singing. He turned slowly. A woman stood in the corner, and he could see through her. She was beautiful, dark hair falling in waves across her shoulders. Her eyes were empty. "Olavi," the woman whispered. The boy's skin prickled. "You can see me." He nodded, unable to speak. "I have been here for years, for centuries," she said, her voice distant, as if from underwater. "And you are Olavi." "The 13th Olavi I have seen." "How did you know my name?" he managed at last, his voice shaking. "Because the stone remembers. And I am stone now." She drifted closer. Her feet did not touch the floor. She reached out, and her hand passed through his arm like mist. "Help me, Olavi," she pleaded. "Free me from this castle." "How?" he asked. The door opened. His father stepped in. The woman vanished like a gust of wind. "Olavi, why are you talking to yourself?" his father asked. "I wasn't," Olavi said quickly. "I was only looking at the lake." Years passed. Olavi did not return to Nicelot. His father died, and Olavi inherited the smith's trade. But at night he dreamed of the woman in the stone chamber calling him by name. In the spring of 1545, Olavi, now 34, returned to the castle to mend the iron hinges of the gate. The instant he stepped into the inner yard, he felt it, the woman's presence. That night he slipped through the corridors until he found the same room. The door was older but still in place. He stepped inside and closed it behind him. "I have come back," he said into the darkness. The woman appeared at once, as beautiful and sorrowful as he remembered. "Olavi," she whispered. "You truly returned." "Who are you?" he asked. "I was Elina," she said. "I was walled up alive in these stones when my husband accused me of betrayal. He oversaw the building of this fortress. He believed I had given myself to another man. It was not true, but his vengeance was merciless." Olavi's heart ached. "How can I help you?" "You must take my place," Elina said, her voice calm. "Only one named Olavi can free me, but freedom has a price. Stone needs a rememberer. Stones remember only if someone will remember for them." "What must I do?" he asked, unafraid. "Embrace me," Elina said, spreading her arms. "Let me pass through you." He hesitated only a moment. Then he opened his arms and stepped toward the ghost. It was as if ice water replaced his blood. Elina passed through him, and in that instant his heart stopped. The stones around him sang. They remembered. He felt each hand that had set them in place, every breath these walls had witnessed. He felt the weight of the stones, their eternal patience. When Elina was gone, Olavi sank to his knees. With the last strength of a living man, he lifted his gaze. Elina floated at the center of the room, brighter now, almost glowing. "Thank you, Olavi," she whispered. "I have waited 300 years for you." She moved toward the window, no longer merely a slit in the wall but a gate to freedom. One last time she turned to look at him as the cold of death seized his limbs. She offered a sad smile, and then, on a breath of wind, vanished out across the lake. Olavi tried to call after her, but his lips no longer moved. His breath no longer misted the air. He looked at his hands, both there and not, translucent as a ghost's. Then he understood, he was now part of the castle. He felt every stone, every seam and secret passage. He was everywhere in the fortress at once, prisoner of the great wall of rock, and at the same time its soul. Decades turned into centuries. Nislot became Olavinlinna, named for Saint Olaf. Olavi watched the wars and fires around Olavinlinna, the silenced cannon, the rebuilding, and every person named Olavi who stepped within the walls. He learned to haunt gently, a door that slammed, a cold draft in the small hours. But to each visitor named Olavi he appeared as Elina had appeared to him, and he whispered, "Free me from this castle." Freedom never came. Stone always needs a rememberer. Elina had been released, but someone else was required in her place. The modern world arrived, electric lights, museums, and opera festival. Olavi remained warden and captive. Tourists sometimes feel a cold breath at their nape. Small children glimpse a dark-browed smith in a tower window, though the tower stands empty. And if their name happens to be Olavi, they may hear a quiet whisper by their ear. "Free me from this castle." Once each year, on the day Olavi died so long ago, a figure appears upon the lake, gazing back toward the fortress. As if waiting for Olavi to win his freedom and join her. But stone remembers. And stone always needs its rememberer. The end.